This video is absolutely going to be over the top, but hey, if you're committed, it will pay off over time. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reese. In this video, we're going over the simplest ways that you can reduce your household bills. Although the suggestions that I'm going to talk about may be simple in nature, listing them out may actually give you some motivation to give them a go, and who knows, you may actually save money over time by implementing them. One thing before I start is that you need to understand that it might not show in the short term, but over a long period of time, building these habits will definitely save you money. And it will be one of the easiest ways to build habits and discipline yourself in the world of finance. These ideas and suggestions, I would say, are at the easiest end of putting yourself in a better financial position. And leading out of that, it is one of the easiest ways to build good habits. Because the answer to building wealth and bettering your finances is ultimately the culmination of thought out repetition and discipline. All right, so let's go through some of the ways that you can reduce your bills. The most obvious is doing your research. This can be applied to any bills where there are companies in competition. Examples of these would include your electricity bill, gas bill, internet, phone, and insurances. The other reason to do this is because you will quickly start to understand how these companies structure their products so that when new products come out or changes to products are made, you can quickly determine if it is a good or bad deal. We'll use power and electricity companies as an example. When you compare a handful of these companies, you'll see that they charge you for a supply charge and a usage charge. And they all generally will offer a credit incentive for signing up with them, or even a pay on time incentive, which could ultimately offset the cost of the bill. For example, offering you a $100 credit each quarter if you sign up right now, or maybe 20% off of your bill for the first year of sign up. The point here is that you'll see what a company is offering you and understand how their offer works, and then what you'll find is that other companies will have similar deals, allowing you to pick the best one for you. This can be applied to almost any type of bill, and I highly recommend learning the process because it's power to you. It's knowledge to put you in the best position to make the best decision. So now let's talk about some very specific things you can do in your household to reduce your bills, and I'm going to back it up with evidence in a minute. I'm just going to list them out and keep it simple. Turn off your unused switches. I can't stress this enough. If a power outlet isn't being used, flick the switch and leave it off until it is being used. Obvious ones are turning off your lights, screens, and chargers, substituting things like your air conditioner for layers of clothing in the cooler months. You don't have to do this one. It's just if money is tight, it's definitely something to consider doing. And I can't stress this one enough. Turn your TV off. I know so many people who use their TV 24 hours a day, but they're not actually using it, it's just running. If they leave the house, it's still running. If they go to sleep, it's still running. It doesn't make sense to me. Turn it off because it's charging you power every minute that it's on. And over time, it adds up. Your local government will generally have schemes which offer great incentives to save water and power. In South Australia, there is a government scheme where a person will come to your house and swap out all of your non-energy efficient lights for energy efficient ones free of charge, and they'll dispose of the old ones too. I actually did this at my investment property, and my dad came along to see what I was doing and then actually asked the guy to come over and do it at our house as well. And I actually know a few friends that have done this too, and the fact of the matter is that they're energy efficient. It's supposed to save you energy. So they were just some very simple concepts with electricity. And like I said, I'm going to back it up with evidence in a minute. I just want to cover water as well as another example. And like I said earlier, although they may be obvious, they're definitely things to consider, and hopefully I motivate you to give them a go. The one that I might cop it for is your showers. Enjoy your showers, but limit them to no more than 10 minutes. I know people who take really, really long showers, and if you're trying to save money, this can definitely be a way to reduce that water bill. I like to wash my dishes by hand and not use a dishwasher. I think personally filling up a sink and washing it all with your hands and then rinsing them off is way better than letting it go for a 40-minute cycle in the dishwasher. I water the garden in routine. So instead of sporadically watering the garden on unplanned days, I do it on the same day every single week to make sure that it's consistent, and therefore I'm not overwatering or underwatering it. It stays alive, it looks great, and it doesn't increase or decrease my water consumption at all. A big one is to check for leaks. Your shower heads, your faucets, and your tap heads. All of them should not be dripping. Our shower head leaked for almost 3 months straight before I actually noticed it. And when I saw it, I went, oh my God, like that's just water dripping all day long. Over time, it's gonna add up. Unfortunately, I had to call a plumber to actually fix that one, which cost me $200 out of pocket as well, which, it's not an expense that you want to be putting up front. Another example is your toilet. I noticed that the toilet was running consistently. If you flushed, it didn't stop. Once it filled back up, it would be running. This one, I refused to call a plumber because I knew I could fix it myself. It's one of the easiest things to do. YouTube taught me that all I needed to do was check a few things, and I identified that it was the float, which is one of the most common components in a toilet. It cost me $20 to replace and a 6-minute YouTube video. I saved myself probably $200 for a plumber to come out and fix it and replace the part, all because I did a bit of research, a bit of hunting, and I figured it out myself, which was ultimately a win for me. And the last suggestion surrounding water is use a rainwater tank to water your garden. If you have one, use it. That's what it's there for, and I'm sure that it's full of water, especially in the winter months. Use your rainwater tank. Now, I've just given you the equivalent examples to telling you to unsubscribe from Netflix and stop buying coffees because it will all add up. But let's compare it to my actual household bills, where I'm going to show you an actual example of what we're paying every quarter compared to the average household with the same amount of people. Now, for reference, I live in a home of 4 people, where 3 of us are actually work from home, and we almost spend 24 hours a day here. To show you that it works, I'm going to take you through my most recent electricity and water bill. So starting with electricity, in the last quarter, we used, as a family, 669 kilowatts, which is less than the average 1-person household as seen on your screen. We have 4 people in our house, a pool, and no solar panels. And we're using less than a house of 1. And it's always been this way. As a family, we have been conscious of turning off unused power sources, and it is now second nature to me. It is something I will do without thought when I move out of my own home. Now let's look at the water bill. For the last quarter, we averaged 598 litres per day in usage. Again, I reiterate, we have 4 people in the house, a pool, and a large garden. Now, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, which is where this information is generated, a home with a large garden is averaging anywhere between 690 and 945 litres per day in usage. This puts us at the bottom, if not below the average usage for our home. And we still shower daily, we enjoy our pool, and the garden is green and healthy. It just goes to show that it works. It puts us in that below average usage consumption range, which ultimately means our bills are cheaper. I highly encourage you to contact your billers at least 4 times a year, so once per quarter, because these companies are always bringing out new deals or making changes to existing deals, which could ultimately be applied to your account and save you money. These companies are flexible, and they want to retain you as a customer because you are their source of income. If they think you're shopping around, they are most likely going to offer you a better deal. Being conscious of your usage will create great habits within your household, and those habits can be flowed down to your children in the future if that's a path that you decide to go down. As I showed in the examples earlier, this is a system that has worked for me and my family, and I'm sure that some elements of it will definitely work for you too. It's now second nature to me. I don't really know any different because I've been doing it for so long. The system clearly works, and what's the detriment to me? There isn't one. If anything, it's a benefit for actually doing it. And as I showed you, we're using significantly less than the average user. By beginning to start taking steps to curb your usage, you will see a decline in your bills. In the short term, it might not be a lot, but in the long run, it will add up. And ultimately, you're going to be helping the environment by reducing your water usage and your power usage. I hope that I motivated you today to actually give this a go by listing down some of them and putting them into practice, because over time, I guarantee you will see great benefits from doing this. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.